Hi, I'm Amy Moy. I am a Cornerstone certified childbirth doula and childbirth educator, and I teach with a wonderful teaching partner who is Jennifer Kelly, and she is a birth doula and childbirth educator as well, and together we have a partnership called Sacramento Cornerstone Childbirth, and we are in the Sacramento Bay Area. However, due to the global pandemic that we're all experiencing, our audience has broadened greatly because now that our childbirth education classes have been moved to an online format, we're able to reach families all over. So we're like any other person with a skill who just really wants to share what we offer, what we do for a living, what brings us joy. And we wanted to extend some information and relaxation opportunities to our audience. And so we've been doing this series, and you can check us out on YouTube at Sacramento Cornerstone Childbirth. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Sac Cornerstone Childbirth. We've been recording a series of live videos. We've been taking turns, so you'll be able to see Jen on some videos. You'll see me on some others. And we have just had such a great time bringing some guided relaxation and calming opportunities to everyone who, we're all in this together. And I don't know about you, but this week, for some reason, I don't know if it's just the piled on days and weeks of our shelter in place order here in California, but we're all feeling it extra hard this week. So I know my wife and I have an 8-year-old kiddo, and she's gotten a little extra weepy this week and is really starting to sort of sinking in that it's been a long time since she spent time with friends, and so it's been challenging in our house, and I'm only imagining that it's been challenging in yours. So if you are expecting, or maybe you are a previous client of Jen or mine and are just popping in because you miss your doula, or you're just looking for some really great information in preparation for the birth of your baby, or if you just came here to relax, we welcome you. Today, I would like to talk just a little bit about creating a birth vision. And birth visions are the new birth plan. Sacramento Cornerstone Childbirth has gone through a progression of names for this document, from birth plan to birth vision, because we really struggled with the word plan. And, there are certain personalities, more A-type personalities than others, who, when they think about creating a plan for their birth experience, it really is an expectation that I've got this checklist of things that I'd like to check off. These are things that feel essential to my birth experience, and if I don't get those things, I'm not going to feel good about my birth experience. So I think we just it was part of the Cornerstone vibe and culture anyway, but Jen and I noticed with our clients that plans, it's like best made plans, right? And there's also some research to back this document, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But they don't always get the best rep. So, we went from birth plans to birth preferences because that felt like it connoted more wiggle room. And we've now moved to what we're calling a birth vision, which really brings some true visualization to the big day. It's a little bit like sports psychology, right? So athletes visualize themselves on the big day, and they think about how they would respond to a care provider making a recommendation for X, Y, or Z intervention or change in their plan. And, what we're finding is that as our students start to create a vision for their birth, by, getting informed about their options, doing some research, being exposed to all different ways of birthing your baby rather than just, the standard, what we see in the media, what we see, in movies and how it's depicted on television. Because honestly, birth is not like that. Ask any doula. Every once in a while we'll have just a really true emergent situation in the birth room, but so much of birth is just exquisitely boring. It's just, you just do the work. You just get in there and you get into a rhythm and you just do the work. And I just want to speak on behalf of all doulas out there. I was watching some birth videos in preparation for our next childbirth class series that we are starting on May 2nd, which we still have room for. So if you'd like to join us, you can find us at saccornerstonechildbirth.com. So there's still time to register. But I was watching some birth videos and I started getting really teary, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's finally hit me. I miss being in the room. All, if not most, doulas have reverted their or commuted their services to a virtual format at this point. So even though we're still supporting families as they're expecting, and we can be in the room via laptop, tablet, smartphone, even over the phone and text, it's not the same thing for us. We just, we're really missing that, and we're really feeling the pull of wanting to be there as well. So we're all feeling it is really where I was going with this. But getting back to birth plans, I have really found that over the years, as we've worked with lots of expectant families in our classroom, my private doula clients, the more I can help them to view this document that they create as a living, breathing document that comes with a whole bunch of fluidity and flexibility, that really has helped families to still feel good about their birth experience, even if they made decisions that they didn't anticipate making, or they changed their plan in midstream and during their birth experience. So, really being able to look at that document as flexible and breathing is helpful. What we always say in our classes is that birth is a mystery and you don't always know what's around the corner. And so we want you to feel great about your choices and the decisions that you make, even if they veer from your original path that you've laid out for yourself. So how do you create an effective birth vision document? Keep it simple, right? So the more elaborate and lengthy your document is, the least likely your care provider or anyone on your care team is to read it thoroughly, right? They're busy, they've got charting, they've got lots of other patients, and really they can just skim documents often. They really do make every effort, and we love nurses and care providers. We are not anti the medical system by any means, but they're busy people, just like we all are. So we want to give you a fighting chance of having your document received, respected, and honored. So keep it simple. We like to recommend that you place things in chronological order on your document. So have a section for upon admission. These are your wishes. Are you okay being in bed for the monitoring in the triage room before you get into your labor room, or would you like to remain mobile and upright? Do you want to receive routine IV fluids, or do you want to just self-hydrate orally? And there are so many decisions that you'll need to make. So, keeping things in chronological order is very easy for everyone who's accessing your document to follow. Bold points, for those few things that feel really, really essential to you. So, don't bold the whole thing because that defeats the purpose, right? But, like if you're having your placenta encapsulated, that's something you want to put in bold face type. Um, I've had clients who have, their birth story has ended up in the operating room, and then their placenta was thrown away. And so, bolding it and then having somebody in the room, a partner, your doula, piping up from the laptop saying, oh, and, she wants to save the placenta as an extra safeguard. So bold face type is great for, those essentials. We like to recommend some kind of introduction at the beginning. Some of my clients even pop a little picture of themselves up at the top just to humanize themselves, encourage their birth team to see them as, an individual family who is coming to have this amazing, wonderful experience. And as wonderful and amazing as care providers and nurses are, sometimes they get into a routine of, oh, it's the induction in 5:04, it's the natural birth and 6:15, that kind of thing. So no, actually it's Jane and Julia who are having a baby in room 415, and these are their wishes, right? So it's a little introduction. Try to encapsulate the kind of birth that you're wanting to have. So if you want all the things, say, I am looking for, I don't want to feel any pain. I would like medicinal pain management as soon as I get into my labor room. Or if you are aiming for an unmedicated birth, low interventive birth, whatever language you want to use, you can put that in the beginning just to sort of give them a heads up about the flavor of what your birth experience is that you're seeking. Couple of other points. You can put things on there like, this is the method I've studied, or, I have a birth team that's going to help me with pushing, so no need for things like timed pushing. That's that counting that you see in the movies. There's so many aspects of the document that can really be a great communication tool with your care providers. So, I encourage my clients to, even if they're not seeking a belly birth or what's commonly known as a cesarean birth or surgical birth, that they include some summary on the back of their document of what their wishes would be in the event of a surgical birth. And if you don't already know, I highly recommend that you, number one, reach out to ICANN, which is International Cesarean Awareness Network. They have chapters all over, and their meetings are online now, so you can access them just to get some information. But also to look into something called a family-centered C-section, or it's also called a natural C-section or a gentle C-section. And there's a lot that you can ask of your care providers. It's very simple little tweaks to how they do things that help to bring some reverence to a birth, because a baby is still being born. The passageway may have taken a different route, but that's something that we recommend that you include. A couple of other things: try to avoid absolutes like, absolutely do I never want a cesarean birth, right? So that puts care providers in an uncomfortable position, because it's asking them to be unethical in an emergency situation. So you want to try to convey some flexibility in the document. Jen and I love to look over birth plans and offer suggestions for wording or tweaking, not in the spirit of changing people's documents, but adding to them, enhancing them so that they're more likely to be taken seriously. I do want to read you just an excerpt from a summary of some research on birth plans, because for some care providers and some nurses, birth plans really do come with a stigma. And when they have this stigma attached to the document that you hand them, sometimes you're treated differently. And there's research to back that up. So I'm just going to read you a quick summary just for your information. And I promise you I will get to the guided the guided relaxation. So this research was done in 2010, and what they discovered was that while there's no scientific evidence to support the hypothesis that patients with birth plans have worse outcomes, their research demonstrates that caregivers believe that they do. This is important because it may influence the way they care for the patient during labor. If providers suspect that a patient with a birth plan will be more likely to have a cesarean section, it may lead them to this intervention sooner than it would for a patient without a birth plan. So, that's so fascinating. And, no disrespect to care providers, but if they're walking around with this belief system that people who bring in a birth plan are just asking for a cesarean section, that's heavy, and it puts them on guard, and it makes them feel like they have to just, find all the problems and fix them or prevent them from happening, which is really their job as trained surgeons. But it's heavy on both ends. So, I empathize with care providers. I empathize with our students and clients. I'm going to leave you with one final tip about birth plans that I have found to be extremely helpful for my clients. When they finish their document, I recommend that my clients bring their birth vision to their next visit with their midwife or obstetrician and sit there and ask them to go through it with you line by line. That does a couple of things. If you start to see the eyebrows go up, or yeah, we don't do that here, that's good information for you, right? Those could be flags that you're being sent that maybe this is going to be more of a struggle. Maybe this preference that I have or this vision that I have is going to require me to advocate more. And that's okay. Advocating is important in the birth room. But we don't all have personalities where we go against the medical community. Most of us were socialized to submit to that medical model of care and see our care providers as, smarter than us. And, but let me tell you, they don't always know everything there is to birth. And it's just so evident for doulas when we offer alternatives to certain interventions, not from a care provider perspective, but just from a trusting birth perspective, that things work that aren't always these highly medical interventions. So, there's a lot going on in the birth room, no matter where you're birthing. But this document is really valuable. So having them go through it line by line, and then getting to the end, and if your care provider says, this is great, this is kind of what we already do anyway, that's a really good sign, right? But after you create the document, you hand it to your care provider and they say, oh yeah, these things are all very reasonable requests. I don't see, any reason why we can't aim for this birth experience for you. Have them sign it at the bottom. You can create a line, you can just draw it in and just have them sign it at the bottom, and then ask them to scan that copy into your chart. And here's what that can do. So you all know that the care provider you see in the office may or may not be the care provider you will see on your baby's birthday, right? Right? So if you go in, to your birthing location and you have a care provider that you haven't been meeting with and they open up your chart, or you say, oh, and here's my birth vision, and they look at it and already they're like, If they come from that perspective, then seeing a signature at the bottom from a colleague connotes that you've had an intelligent conversation with their peer and that you're not one of those patients who brought in an unreasonable list of expectations. And, whatever you put on your birth vision document, I'm going to support as a birth worker, as a doula, as a childbirth educator. So, whatever floats your boat, I'm all for it. If that is, if that set of expectations feels important to you, it is important to you. But oftentimes care providers don't see it that way, right? So especially if you're working with an obstetrician, they are trained surgeons, and they are there to, like I said, find the pathology or get in there and tinker with your birth experience in a way to prevent things from happening, in a way to prevent poor outcomes. And not to say that they're not loving, caring people who want you to have a good birth experience, but at the end of the day, it's that healthy birthing person, healthy baby scenario that they're looking for, right? And we want that too as doulas and childbirth educators, but we also want you to feel good about your birth experience. So it's that third piece that's so essential to the work that we do. And when your plan gets steamrolled, I literally saw a nurse one time receive a client's birth plan, put it up on the computer desk, and use the birth plan as a mouse pad. So, that was an eye opener for us. That was a flag for us. That was a nurse that was not my client's nurse for too much longer after that, actually. So, and that's something that not everybody knows, is that if you're not getting a good vibe from your care provider, you can ask for another one. If your nurse is not working for you, you can ask for another one. Okay. I could talk about birth preferences or birth visions all night. I'm not going to. You guys deserve some relaxation. I see some friends online. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks everybody for coming on. Please feel free to share this with your communities, just as a way to provide information, give somebody an opportunity to get calm. And also if you think that they're a good fit for our childbirth education class, or really if we're a good fit for them, I should say, we would love for you to pass that information on. So I'm going to get to tonight's relaxation. This relaxation, I'm going to get some music going too. This relaxation is a color and breath relaxation. So we're going to be doing some visualization. And color is really special in all cultures. All cultures have, some unique relationship to color. And color can do lots of things for us. It can excite us. It can make us feel calm and quiet. It can bring up memories. It can make you feel confident and powerful. It can make you feel grounded, right? So color is really important. Think about the clothes that you wear, right? So some days, you throw on a blouse that just makes you feel warm and fuzzy. And then on another day, you need like a power color. And that warm, fuzzy blouse doesn't work for you in that capacity. So, and I'm thinking like a pale pink or a pale blue versus a bright red. We get different vibes from different color, right? Color is vibration, it's energy. And so what I'm going to ask you to do when we take some deep breaths and get still and close our eyes, I'm going to ask you to visualize a color and watch how it sort of influences your relaxation. Okay. So when we start a guided relaxation in our class, we always give a break beforehand so that people can take care of their body needs, right? So go to the bathroom, make sure you're not hungry, thirsty, make sure you turned the ringer off on your phone so that you will not be interrupted during your relaxation exercise. We also encourage comfort, so you can sit or lie, it doesn't matter. You can crawl into bed, get cozy, lots of pillows around, or seated in a chair. A nice comfy chair is just as well. Pillows are great, so prop yourself with pillows, get comfy. I'm playing some relaxing music. Now, hopefully you guys can hear it, but you can find great music on all of the streaming services, right? So, you can make your own playlist for birth and for pregnancy, but, all of the streaming services have great, yoga and meditation, or, instrumental, environmental sounds, whatever, or hardcore rap, because I've heard that in birth too, and it's amazing. I've also heard Bollywood, country, classic rock, whatever music gets you going is great. But for the purposes of relaxation, usually a more soothing lull will encourage you to get relaxed. Okay. So breathing and color can have the very same effect as vocalizing and touch. It can activate the gate control response, closing our nervous system's gates to pain messages. You may already have a foundation in the study of the chakra system. Chakras are said to be energy centers in our body. Each energy center has a different color associated with it and its own energetics. If you have previous experience or an affinity for chakra work, you may find yourself automatically utilizing the color system of the chakras in this exercise. So we always start with 3 deep diaphragmatic or belly breaths. So you're going to take a deep breath in, send your breath all the way to your belly, hold it for a moment, and then release. And on the out breath for the next 3 breaths, I'll ask you to focus on a different part of your body for releasing tension. So if you'd like to, you can close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Breathe out and release your head, neck, shoulders, arms, and hands. Breathe in all the way down to your belly. Hold and release, relaxing your chest, mid-back, torso, and belly. Nice deep breath in, all the way down. Hold it and release, relaxing your legs, hips, ankles, and feet. Choose a color that resonates with you today. Imagine this color as a mist filling the room. This mist comes down into the top of your head as you breathe. See and feel the color filling your body slowly, starting with your head, moving into your face, down into your neck, and across your shoulders. The color mist travels down your body, filling up every single cell. Each breath brings you more color. This color is life-affirming and calming. It fills you with a sense of well-being and safety. All is well and as it should be. Each breath brings oxygen filled with this color to you and your baby. Imagine the colored mist traveling down your arms to your fingertips. The mist is filling your torso. See your belly, your uterus, and your baby filling up with this color too. Filling you with calm, trust, and love. The colored mist now fills your lower body and legs. The mist continues to fill your body, moving down to your ankles, feet, and toes. The colored mist is now filling your whole body, your whole being. It overflows out the bottom of your feet and the top of your head. It flows out the sides of your body and your hands. It expands to surround your whole body, enclosing you and your baby in pure color, love, trust, and protection. Keep breathing and hold the image of the color for as long as you need. When you are complete, you can slowly come out of your relaxation, feeling energized and peaceful. This is the part we don't like in our class because we have to wake everybody up and send them on their way. Oh, thanks for the hearts, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great night's sleep tonight. The guided relaxations we've been reading are at the end of each chapter in the Cornerstone Method of Childbirth Education workbook that all of our students are given on the first day of class. And we have really enjoyed sharing them with you. We've been doing this for several weeks now. Jen and I are going to get together this week and come up with some fun content to share together via Zoom. Zoom has a great feature that allows you to go live on Facebook. So we are going to explore that and come up with some great topics. If you have questions about birth, or pregnancy or the postpartum period, and you'd like a couple of doulas to take a stab at them, we would love to get some ideas from what our viewers are interested in learning about. Because of the time that we're in right now, we always do like to mention our most favorite and treasured and respected resource for all things birth and COVID-19 related. We always redirect our students and our clients to the Evidence-Based Birth website, and it's evidencebased.com/COVID-19. So we'll see you next week. We'll let you know when that'll be. And we are so glad to have this opportunity to share our skills with the birth community. Take good care and have a great night, everybody.